guys, bet you missed seeing my face. Today we're going to do a quick little lesson over finding the central idea of the text. We're also going to be doing a quick little vocabulary lesson to where you guys are able to define some vocabulary words, because there will be a vocabulary quiz actually this week. Sorry, I know that my lighting isn't the best in here. I try to close my blinds, but still have some light peeking through. But we'll go ahead and get started with this. We're going to read a quick passage called Woolly Mammoth sparks debate over cloning. So we're going to be learning about woolly mammoths and cloning and different things. We're going to be really focusing on the central idea of the text. In fact, if you look, we're going to go over the questions really quickly before reading it. So on the screen right now, you should see a sheet that says, or that has the questions. It says, number 1, summarize the central ideas of the article in no more than 2 sentences. So we're actually going to be writing summaries together. I'm going to have you guys actually pause and kind of write those with me as well, because those are going to be some things that we're going to be working on together. Okay? And then if you look at number 2, it says for part A, what does the word captivity most closely mean as it is used in paragraph 9? So we're going to actually have a few vocabulary words. Captivity is going to be one of them. Number 3, part B, which phrase from the paragraph best supports the answer to part A? So again, that's for number 2. So how do you know that that's what captivity actually means? Number 4, which of the following best states the purpose of paragraph 11? So in that one, we're going to have to look through and figure out what the purpose of paragraph 11 actually is. And I think we're going to, we're going to do number 5. What reason does the author provide for why some scientists believe the woolly mammoth should be cloned? Cite a piece of evidence from the article. So you're going to actually be answering that one in particular on Canvas. I want to see kind of what you guys are able to do with that. We're going to actually, you know what, we're going to work on that one together. You guys are going to be doing one on your own after this. It's going to be very similar. So we're going to show you how to do that today. All right. So looking back at the text really quickly, before we even jump into this, I want us to go ahead and I want us to take a few minutes to kind of come up with a general definition of what central idea actually means. So bear with me. I know that this is kind of, the light's kind of messing up with it, but that's fine. We're going to write down central idea, okay? So I'm actually going to have you guys go into your notes, your note page of this, and I want you to write the term central idea. I know I have to write this in reverse so that you guys can actually see it. Kind of interesting there. You ever try to write backwards? I mean, I'm sure you have, but it's kind of awkward when you're doing this on camera. Central idea. Hey, you can actually read that. That's nice. All right, so central idea. When we think about central idea, we're talking about what the text is mainly going to be about. What is the whole point of the text? It ties in closely to main idea. And for fiction, it ties into kind of your theme. Holy cow. Alright, I gotta get this better view here. Sorry, don't mind me. Okay. Not bad for writing backwards. So, central idea kind of ties into what the main idea of the text is, and that's for nonfiction text. So, nonfiction, this is going to be for fictional text, for theme. Okay? So, when we're talking about that, we're talking about what the text is mainly about in this case. So I want you to write a definition, just a central idea really quickly. We just kind of went over that. Share that with me, just so I can see that you guys are participating. Give you a few seconds, pause the video if you have to. All right, so we've talked about central idea really quickly. That's what we're going to be really focusing on. I know we focus on it a lot, but when you can identify the central idea of the text, you can identify pretty much everything off of it, all right? You're going to have some essential vocabulary from here. Don't mind me just erasing this with a sock. great little dry erase board eraser at home. So, all right, the very first one that we did talk about was actually going to be question number 2, I believe, and that's going to be captivity. So I want you to use, for these definitions, by the way, I'm going to give you guys a chance. Make sure that you have those written down. Okay, captivity. I know that's kind of hard to see. I'm going to try to figure out a way of getting this without the glare really quickly. Let's see if I can do that. That helped a little bit. That gets the glare on the other side. So captivity. That's the first word that we have here. What you're going to do, just to make sure that you're watching this, I want you to actually go through here, and I want you to write these down as we go, so that way you know exactly what the definitions that you have to do are. The next one that we're going to have is going to be the word remote. Sorry if my handwriting is a mess. I am writing these backwards so you guys can see. Remote. And in this case, we're not talking about remote control. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about like a remote environment. So what does remote mean in terms of a remote environment or a remote place? Man, if you've never written backwards for an extended period of time, I challenge you to do so. Okay, next vocabulary word that we're going to have is going to be carcass. So again, if you're having trouble kind of identifying these, pause the video. I will show this at the end, just kind of give you those words a little bit better. I'm going to pull them up on the screen here in just 1 second too, so that way you guys can have them. Next vocabulary word we're going to have is actually going to be called preserved, or is going to be preserved. By the way, this is Monday that I'm actually doing this for you guys, getting you prepared for Wednesday. So thank you to the ones that came out to Zoom today. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys today on there. Preserved. Next word we're going to have is genetic. And I'm hoping that we don't run out of room. Genetic there. Wow, I'm getting better at this. We have 2 more. We have bacteria, which is great to talk about right now with this virus going on, the differences between bacteria. And then the last word that we have is going to be peat, as in peat moss or a peat box. So I'm going to go over these one more time again, just so you guys have that there. Ooh, we did miss one word. One word that I really think is going to be one of my favorite words of this. It's going to be, make sure that I have enough room here. Cloning. Okay. So we have 8 vocabulary words that you guys are going to be responsible for. There will be a vocabulary quiz. First one that we have here is captivity. Okay. Next one is remote, as in environment. So we're remote. Next one here is carcass. Look how nice that handwriting is backwards. It's great. Preserved. Genetic. Bacteria, peat, and cloning. If you need to, go ahead and pause this video at certain times just to write those words down. You can either do that on notes on your iPad if you want, or in some way, but I need you guys to make sure that you have those words down. That way we can make sure we get that, all right? So, what's going to happen right now, I'm going to end this particular video. And let me just grab this. I want you guys to work on your vocabulary, and then we're going to actually read the article together, and we are going to use the questions from the article as a way of kind of teaching you how to find those things using, finding central ideas and finding those other things. And then I'm going to go through how to answer those questions with you guys as well. This is going to be on a separate video on a screencast. So please watch this video first. During this time, until Friday, you need to define these 8 words. Okay? Define those 8 words, and that's going to basically be your vocabulary grade for the week. Okay? Make sure that you define those 8 words. Again, they're right behind me. If you need to pause, probably a good idea to do so right now. Pause button. Get those words down, and I want you to actually define them for me. Send those in. I'm going to have a blank thing for you to kind of do that. And it's going to show me who's actually watching these videos, who are just kind of sitting around and not actually doing the work. All right? With that being said, we're going to read Woolly Mammoths together, and then we are going to actually end up doing an exit ticket independently. So I will share that with you guys as well. So, all right. Appreciate it, guys. Get that vocabulary in. Make sure that you have your definition of central idea down as well. If you don't remember, go back to the very beginning of this video, get that down, and actually share that on there. Bonus point right now. For those of you that stuck around to the very end, if you want some extra credit opportunity, what I want you to do is I want you to look up woolly mammoths, and I want you to identify and find where the first woolly mammoth was actually discovered. The first woolly mammoth, where it was discovered. All right, that will be for bonus points. Get that in for me, put it at the end of that, say bonus points at the end, and we will do that. All right, cool? Thanks. Now, for the ones that stuck around even longer than that, for a bonus point, another bonus point at the very end, I want you literally to write in your first and last name spelled backwards. Just randomly, just make sure you're watching the whole thing. Get that first and last name backwards in there, written backwards, kind of like how I had to write that backwards. And you'll get some bonus points, all right? Peace out, guys. Thanks.